President Trump's latest wave of tariffs is now in effect. Imports from roughly 60 trade partners are subject to higher duties in the U.S. The latest announcement now bringing China's total tariff rate to 104%. On Tuesday, President Trump praised the effectiveness of his levies in bringing nations to the negotiating table.
We're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals. We've had great consideration. We've had talks with many countries, over 70. They all want to come in.
Heather Boushey, former member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors under President Biden, joining us now. Heather, great to speak with you. I got to start on the news from this morning, which is China retaliating with that additional 84% levy on U.S. imports. How far could this go? How high could these levies potentially get on both sides?
Well, at this point, we're in what we call a trade war. And, certainly the president has indicated that he's not willing to back down. And the Chinese have now come to the table and said, we need you to respect us. And they also are saying that they are unwilling to back down. I think what is disconcerting is how prepared they seem to be. They knew when President Trump was elected that he was going to be focused on trade and that he, had called himself tariff man. So they seem prepared for this moment. And, if we care about, coming back to a sane set of economic policies that will deliver for the American middle class, this war this morning that we're seeing in tariffs is certainly not a good thing.
I mean, Heather, we can't kind of mince words here. These are some of the highest tariffs that we might see in world history. And so with that in mind, how unprecedented of a state are we in now, and how much more difficult does that make negotiations going forward from here to bring them down from those levels?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. We have spent decades building up a global economy with highly integrated supply chains. And China has been a key part of those supply chains. And, here we are with this imposition of tariffs in a very, the way that the president has done this, since he's come into office has been very chaotic, on again, off again. Now he seems to have, he's made these big steps. He said one day I'm not negotiating, then 2 days later, I am negotiating. So I think both this uncertainty, where is the president going with this? What is his end game? And is the goal to make sure that the United States has vibrant manufacturing sectors in producing things that matter, that we can be competitive in, that are going to help create good middle class jobs? Or is it retaliation? Is it, something else? I think we're all wondering that. And that is, I think, what makes both the level of these tariffs so unprecedented. But I think, as everyone's talking about the off ramp for how we're going to get back to a sane economic policy, also seems very unclear at this point. I just keep thinking, this is a president right now who does not have the concept of a plan for what he's going to do to improve the domestic economy. That is what he was elected to do. It's what many of his voters want. It's what the American people need. And yet it does not appear to be, there does not appear to be a plan and does not appear to be his priority.
And Heather, investors are grasping for anything that may be able to put pressure on the president's tariff agenda here. I spoke with Senator Elizabeth Warren about this, and here's what she said on that.
Congress has power, and that Congress can roll these tariffs back and steady this economy out. But it's going to take Republican support to make that happen. The laws are in place. We just need to vote to make that happen.
Heather, what's the most likely off-ramp to the severity of these tariffs in your view? Some kind of negotiations unfolding slowly over time, or actual feasible congressional pushback?
Well, here's the thing. What President Trump has done is shocked the global economy and particularly shocked the U.S. economy. And so I think many of us thought, if markets dropped, he might change his tune. He certainly has not. He, has said he doesn't care if people's 401ks go down. He doesn't care what's happening in the markets. He said we might need to have a recession. He said he doesn't care if things get more costly for American consumers. And, on the other side of his administration, he has, allowed Elon Musk to make all these decisions that mean that the kind of jobs we will create or the supports that firms need to make these investments investments to create this new world that he says he wants to see. He's actually tearing away all the foundations for them to do that. And of course, he's gutted the Department of Labor and made it harder to enforce labor law, which will, of course, not lead to better quality jobs now and into the future. So I think, what is going to contain him, what the next steps are. You heard the president just say himself, he's got all these countries calling him, and now he's saying, oh, it's going to take us a lot of time to figure out how to make these deals. Well, if they had a plan, they would have known that. It seems like his own advisors are not prepared for this moment. So, and yet the global economy, markets are responding very, very quickly. And the pain that could be felt for American workers and American communities in the short term could be very dire. So I do hope that action is taken quickly, but I think by the minute we are losing hope.
Heather, thanks so much for taking the time here this morning. We're going to continue to track all of the developments, as we know you will as well. Thank you.
Thank you.